How do you support an animal when either their beloved person or animal friend has died? So often my work entails helping pet parents through a really difficult time in their relationship with their pet. It's the end of life journey. I'm helping them with their pet in their final times, in the transition, and in the afterlife. And often my work takes me to help pet parents to be able to better support their other animal companions who are in their house after one of their pets has died. But yet there's another aspect of animal communication that is often missed and very much needed. It's helping the animal when they have lost their beloved person. Welcome to the End and After channel. I'm Hunda Makinet, animal communicator, end-of-life, and grief educator, where I'm helping pet parents get information, education, and inspiration in helping to enhance their relationship with their beloved animals. And if you haven't done so already, I would really like if you'd click the like button, like and subscribe, and even share the channel, because it helps to reach far more pet parents who are helping to look to take their relationship to a whole new level of communication, compassion, and connection. We need to firstly understand that animals do have a full awareness of death, dying, they grieve, and they mourn. So to look at that, let's look to nature and let's look to the wild. There was this orca named Tahlequah, and by scientists they called her J35. She gave birth to a calf, and the calf had died. Tahlequah spent 17 days grieving and mourning the loss of her infant calf, and she carried it with her, and she became an international phenomenon where everyone was watching. I look at her as a teacher for showing us the depths that animals do grieve and mourn the loss of their loved ones. Another example is in 2016, there is actually a video, and it's 3 elephant herds coming to pay their last respects for a matriarch that has passed. And this video shows that they were caressing, smelling, touching, and walking past her corpse on a regular basis. They came to pay their respects and grieve and mourn and honor her life. Both of these stories, I have links in the description below so you can follow and watch these videos. It shows you how animals grieve and mourn and that they are no different than we are. Each one of us is an individual, unique being, and so are our animals. And each of us will grieve in a different way and show our mourning in a different way. And every way that we do that is exactly as it's meant to be. There is no linear timeline to grief. It doesn't follow a mold or a set instructions or a step-by-step guide. They're just aspects of grief, and we will flow through them, and our animals will flow through them just like we do in the exact way that they need to. So how can you best support and help your animal? Plan and prepare, especially in situations where you know that there's an impending transition that's going to happen. Begin by talking with them and sharing what is happening, how everyone is sad and having a hard time. Share with them your emotions and the energy of the household. This helps them know what's going on. It also helps them feel included in what's going on. This helps to give them clarity and understanding so they can feel safe and more secure in what's happening. And this way, both you and them can help each other and support each other through this difficult time. So for example, if you're in a multi-animal household and one of the pets, it's time for them to transition. Maybe the vet comes to your home, maybe you go to the vet's office. In those instances, you have the option of including the other household animals to be part of that experience. So phoning the vet's office and asking them questions. Can the other household pets participate in this? Can they be there before, during, or after? What's their policy? A really big part of what animals have shared with me is when they've been able to witness the passing, or then to be able to visually and physically see the physical body of their companion who's no longer here. They have shared with me the importance of seeing the physical body. It's helped them to land and integrate the death of their friend. And that, they have shared, is a really important part of them beginning their grief journey and their healing. And the animals have shared that in those moments, they're no longer searching for their companion around the house or the yard. They now understand what's happened. And there's a reverence that they pay to each other for that. And each animal is completely different. I know in my instance, when Bosphorus, my 11-year-old Rottweiler, passed in this past May, I also have 2 cats. I carried them outside to the car. I didn't take them to the vet's office. I brought Bosphorus's body home, and I carried my cats one by one to the car to see Bosphorus's body. Each of them paid their respect in their way and in the length of time that they needed. One cat was very quick. My other cat, she stayed and lingered longer, and both of them then knew that he was no longer with us. And that helped them understand the grief that I was also experiencing. And we were able to grieve and help each other. But if it's now a person who's in the hospital or hospice, this is an opportunity where we can actually ask the facility, is there the possibility of bringing and uniting the animal with their dying person? Can they come to the room, to the ward, into the hospital? And if not, can a special room be made to accommodate that? A courtyard, or even outside? What are the options? I have had people share with me that they didn't have any of those options, but they still worked really hard to find a solution. And they did a video call where one person was home with the animal and showing the video, and they had a piece of clothing from the person who was in the hospital. And the person in the hospital got to see their beloved animal, and their animal got to hear their beloved person's voice. And the family shared with me what a difference it made for everyone involved, and the emotion and the level of love that they experienced from that was something that they will cherish forever. And it made such a lasting impression and memory, and it helped everyone in the process accept what was happening. So after the person or pet sibling has passed, it's really important to still continue to share with the animal what has happened, what's happening next, and to let them know that now their beloved person or pet sibling is now in spirit form. What this does is this allows the animal's grief to be witnessed. It allows them to be witnessed. And this is so important because this allows them to be and feel seen and heard and feel valued. Now, more often than not, in situations when a beloved person has died, living situations for the animal can often change. Sometimes after the death of their person, the animal can't stay with the family, or there is no family for them to stay with. And they go with friends, or they go to a new family, or they're potentially even surrendered to a shelter. In my personal situation with my father when he passed, he had a beautiful dog. And my family, we lived on the other side of the country. We already had 4 animals, and we were unable to take her. And luckily, she found a loving home. And in that whole process, I was able to help explain to my dad's dog what was happening. And her transition into that home was so much easier because she was involved in the process. The most important part in how you can support and provide comfort I'm gonna go get him. You're coming on camera. Okay, this is my noise distractor. He loves to participate in video making. So the most important part in all of this, in providing comfort and support to your animal at this time, is to keep them informed. Let them know what's going on. Make sure that they're an active part of the entire process. It's also really important to maintain a routine as much as possible. And in those early days, it's really hard. And most animals, when they're grieving, they're sleeping a lot, they're out of sorts, their appetite has changed, they're either eating more or disinterested in eating. All of this is a normal process. If you can be present with them and just acknowledge and give them the space to be in the place that they're at, additional worry over them in that moment isn't actually necessary. They're just needing either love and attention and snuggling or time on their own. The most important part is that they're acknowledged for their grieving process, and this helps them a great deal. When it's a pet sibling that's passing, our other animals are allowed to be there. But when it's a beloved person that's passing, there's less of an opportunity for the pet to be with their beloved person. This is what's causing their animal stress. So when we can take a proactive part and communicate with them what's happening and keeping them informed, this alleviates a lot of the stress and helps them get to a healthier way of grieving and being aware. So to quickly sum up, how you can help support them. It's planning and preparing as best you can in the situation that you have. It's explaining to them what the situation is, what's happening, what's their role, what's their purpose, and is there a change to their living situation? And if there is, what does it look like? It's really important to acknowledge that animals grieve and mourn in their own individual way and in their own timeline. I've also noticed that animals typically do move through this grief quicker when they've been informed and involved in the process. And this is where we can turn to them and learn from them in how we do grief. I hope you found today's video really helpful and that it answered some of the questions that you may have had. And if you'd like to view more, please click on the link below and hit the notification button so you can receive notifications of my monthly educational videos that come out. I'm so glad that you were here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.